Calvin, what'd you do this last week? Anything? Anything good? Anything fun? Anything terrible? Skunk?
Well,
I don't know.
No skunks, no.
Calvin, tell the story.
Huh?
Tell the story you told me and Eric.
Oh, yeah.
That happened like 2 or 3 years ago.
He just dropped this shit in our Vikings reaction.
What?
And I was like, what?
I almost got carjacked over by Sisler Park.
Carjacked by Sisler Park? Who's
And
carjacking
to be
at
fair,
Sisler
the
Park?
way he said it made it sound like it happened like, oh, yeah, it's happened 2 days ago. I didn't tell you guys. I was like, wait, what happened?
No, I asked them. I was like, did you guys know that I almost got carjacked? I was like, what? When did this happen? Oh, this was a long time ago. But
I was like, oh, okay.
no, I was driving past the YMCA, and there was this guy like limping across the road. And as I was driving by the YMCA, this car like just tore out of there as if they were trying to get away. And this guy was limping, so I thought, oh, maybe it's a hit and run or something. Maybe he was going across the crosswalk, and they hit him and they took off because they didn't want to pay his hospital bills or something. So I pulled into the YMCA parking lot and rolled down my window. I was like, hey, man, you okay? And
Hello,
he was
sir.
Like,
can I
he was like
help
limping
you?
towards me and stuff like that. And he wasn't really saying much. He was like mumbling and stuff. And he kept his arm behind his back. And when he was like 5 feet away, I noticed he was holding a knife. So, and I like, hey, man,
Calvin shot him.
stay away. No, I didn't. I like, stay away. You know, I see the knife. And then he like grabbed the door handle and like he was trying to pull it open, and he started like almost climb in. And I took off. I called the cops. They showed up like 20 seconds later because they were like right around the corner. And he was hiding in a ditch in Sisler Park. And they tased his ass. What? He was like rolling around on the ground, and they were like wrestling him and shit. He got arrested.
Huh. I didn't know that either.
So he was just a gangster. That's why he was limping.
No, he was very high on methamphetamine, crystal meth.
Did you just stick around and be like, "That's him"?
No.
Oh no.
They found him immediately
To
from
be
my
fair,
description.
you were frequently carrying a knife. Out in the open.
And a flashlight.
Well, yeah, but I
To
wasn't
blind
limping.
your opponent, your victims.
Hey, your victim.
I wasn't limping,
Your
though.
opponents.
So what was going through your mind?
I knew that I wasn't going to let him in the car, so I like got away from him. Luckily, I didn't stall out. That would have been very embarrassing at that point. Yeah, that would have been bad. But other than that, I was like, oh shit, like I need to call the cops so this doesn't happen to somebody else. But I was like, wait a minute, I'm the reporting party. I'm the victim. Fuck.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the victim.
Yeah.
But
I want to be the perpetrator.
This never
find
happens.
this guy.
My first thought would be that I'm in the wrong car and that this is this guy's car.
No, I was driving down the
That would be a
street.
brilliant way to carjack someone. It's like, hey, you took my car. Because you know what? I have you ever had the experience where like you're at like a department store like Walmart or something, and you go up to a car and you it's like, oh shit, it's locked, and you look in, it's like, oh, this isn't my car at all.
I've been at Walmart.
And it looks exactly like your car.
And I did that, and there was an old woman sitting in it. I was like,
She stabs you.
Well,
I just looked at her, shrugged, walked off, got in
that's
my
funny.
car.
my friend Jared, when he was working out, like he got in a fight with his girlfriend or something like that on the phone. He was walking out, he's all pissed off. He's like, Shane, I was all juiced up because I was on running trend and all this stuff. And he walks and he just starts opening his car door and he just rips it open, and there's this like teenage girl in there going, ah! And she's trying to crawl over the center console.
Oh my god,
She's screaming, and he realized that his car was like right next to it.
it's terrible.
He's like, oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Wrong car.
Yeah, like when I used to have the maroon Ford Explorer, like
There's a bunch of
you would
those
see a
around.
bunch
Yeah.
around, and like I remember one time just going up and being like, "Why the hell isn't my door? It's not working." And just looking down and being like, "Oh," and I looked up and it's right beside it. I was like, "Oh man," it'd be embarrassing if like someone's like, "Get out of here, it's mine," you know? Ugh.
They let you open it and then they shoot you in the face with like a taser or something.
Yeah.
Like Scarecrow.
Yeah,
I had an interesting car experience. So Jancy's car got dropped off.
yeah. You need to tell that
I think he's working on it, Eric.
story. Yeah. Well, I could set it up.
Sure, go ahead and set it up.
Okay, so
It's a hell of a story.
well,
The hell of a story.
Hell of a story. Jancy has, she moved from California, and there was all these headaches about like, well, you got to move your stuff, then you got to move your car, and the people that were supposed to come get her car, take pictures, put it on a truck and all that stuff, that they like would say, we're gonna show up this day, and they just never showed up. So she had to call and be like, hey, when are you guys coming? It's like, oh yeah, your driver, he's here's his name, he'll be there from 6 to 9 tonight. She's like, okay. It's like 8:30. She calls. It's like, and like, well, the driver. Let me see. Here's his number. She calls the driver. He's like, I'm in New York.
What?
And she's like,
The
what
fuck is he doing
You're supposed
there?
to pick it up in L.A., you know? And then finally, they pick it up, and she's like, oh, what a headache. At least it's on the road. No problems now, you know? And then we just don't hear about it for a long, long time until they're like, we'll get there whenever, you know? And then, like, the same thing happens when they're trying to schedule to drop it off. It's like, it'll probably be this day between this and this. That's not going to happen. All right, this day between this and this. That's not going to happen. And then finally, it was going to be December 23rd between, 6 and 9 p.m. It was 8 o'clock. She called. They're like, it's not going to be there. We can drop it off tomorrow, Christmas Eve. And we were like, we're going to be in Columbus that day. And Jancy just had enough. And she's like, no, you guys didn't get it here. You know, they were trying to say, if you're going to be in Columbus, we'll drop it off in Columbus. She's like, I already paid. I'm not getting that money back. You guys need to get it here, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I guess maybe I can, have my dad or somebody go get it, you know? And I'm like, who do we trust? And I was like, we can trust Rick. So we called Rick the night before.
The man who doesn't know his way around his own hometown.
I was like, let's trust Rick. Well, because I also was I was thinking, in terms of, it was going to be Christmas Eve, you know? And you said, you didn't have any plans, you know? So we called him hey, first I said, are you doing anything tomorrow? Could you, if it comes? Because I was thinking, he ain't going to fucking come.
Yeah.
We're going to stay here, not go to our appointment, and it's not going to be there. But finally, Rick's like, yeah, I'll do that. And then they actually called while we were driving up to go get our puppy, to get General Kenobi. So I called, the guy calls, yeah, I'm here. I had him go to Bridgeport. I'm here at Bridgeport. Or it was I guess it wasn't that guy. I don't know. Anyway, they were there. I called Rick. I said, he'll be there in 10, 15 minutes. And then we are 5 minutes away from picking up a puppy. And Rick is messaging and being like, what's the license plate? And JJ's like, it's this. He's like, what kind of car is it? It's this. He's like, he just texts back it's not on here.
So he says that they'll be there in 10 or 15 minutes. And I leave immediately and get there.
Mm-hmm.
And I see a truck with a bunch of cars on it. And there's no one in it or around it. And so I call Eric, and I'm like, well, I'm pretty sure it's here, but I don't see anyone here. And do you have the guy's number or something?
Yeah.
And so he calls the guy. He calls me back. He was inside a Kmart, taking a shit or
Yeah,
something.
he's in this. He's like, I'm in the store. I'll be out there in a couple minutes. And he's like, what's he doing in the store?
And so,
my car.
And so, I am looking for her car.
Yeah.
On this truck, and I do not see it, and I'm very confused. And I see this guy, give me a motorcycle wave.
Like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that. And I wave back at him, and he is over there on his phone, and I think he's just being a nice guy and waving or whatever.
Sure, you wave at people.
Yeah. And so I'm looking at this thing. I'm taking pictures of license plates. I'm like, is this it? Is this it? Is this it?
Taking pictures of license plates.
Jancy is freaking the fuck out. She's like, oh my god, it's not even there.
I do not see this car. And then eventually I look over, and I see the guy on the cell phone. And I see the car he's standing in front of. Mm-hmm. And it looks suspiciously like what Jancy's car has been described to me. And so I go over, and this is the guy. And he's just been waiting there just watching me this whole time. He didn't come over and say anything. He didn't try to call my attention.
Are you sure the motorcycle wave wasn't a gesture? It's is this your car?
He might be like this one.
It was the wrong hand.
And you were just
pointing away from it. But this guy
Maybe he was gesturing for you to attend to him.
Join me. The car is here.
But this guy he has a very thick Russian accent.
Yes.
You wanted car.
Damn.
I get the car. You want the car?
Was he wearing an Adidas tracksuit?
Woman not show up. You want a car?
We will have good deal.
And he was like, pictures cost $10 each or something like that.
Yeah.
Because he's wondering, why am I taking pictures of all these cars on this truck?
He's probably thinking these men tried to rob me.
And then as I'm talking to him about getting the car, this other guy comes over and oh, that license plate's from pretty far away. And he just starts chatting us up and having this conversation.
Okay.
I was like, why couldn't you be like this guy? Yeah. Come over and talk to me so I didn't have to look like a fool.
Russians don't talk to each other.
Yeah, that was it.
It was so funny. Cause
So wait, was that his truck then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's just watching you take pictures of his truck?
Yeah.
Just waiting there.
You just
I
waiting
hope
there.
this man tries to take truck.
Why he look
I
at
take
truck?
life.
He's over there filling out forms on his phone or something.
That's funny. Yeah, I mean, just every step of the way, it was just delay and not knowing what they're doing and all that stuff. And then finally, I was like, "Don't worry, we'll be gone." But Rick's dependable; he'll get it. And then you just text it back, it's not here.
First, I thought you said he's expendable. He doesn't have plans.
He'll have Rick deal with the Russians.
Yeah. And she was like, he's not going to get lost going back to your house, is he? I'm like, I don't think so. Maggie should be there.
Yeah, I followed Maggie. No, well, Maggie didn't know where you lived, so.
Gotcha.
Wait, so you had to meet over at the Kmart?
Yeah.
Bridgeport is where it was.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. You had to go to Bridgeport?
Bridgeport equipment.
I followed Maggie to there,
okay.
and then I went to his house.
Yeah.
And I got to that turn where, like, you go either to the firehouse or your house.
Yeah.
And I had to stop, and I had to think about it.
Rick is not the best with directions at all. So.
We finally get home with the puppy, and the car's not there, and we call you, and you're like, I'm in Kansas.
It's possible. You didn't have Toto
I'm
yet.
supposed to take this to California, right?
Yeah. Right, exactly. I heard driver in New York.
Well, I remember during the days of Washington State, like you would use like a GPS. You'd have to travel like to like Washington D.C. and stuff like that, right?
Yeah. Well, so, yeah.
Well, I just figured.
I've
you'd
got to
be
airports in Washington, D.C. and things. Like, Washington, D.C. was fine getting there, but getting home, like, the exit it told me to go on was closed.
That always sucks.
And now you're lost.
And so I completely lost. And it just keeps telling me to keep going to that exit. I'm
Turn
like, well,
around.
I
Turn
you keep
around.
making circles. Yeah.
That was the problem for the first days of MapQuest, where you'd like print it all out and you have like a folder so you could do it on like a road trip.
Yeah, and if you
then
fuck up
and
one
then
of
you
those
fuck
things,
up one, you're like, well, I don't know where to go. My dad would be like, that's why you shouldn't use MapQuest.
that's
and he gets
all
out his,
the,
he gets
all
out
the
his
dominoes have
Atlas.
fallen.
Yeah,
Remember Atlas?
That's why you need a map.
Yeah.
So I called Maggie. I put her on speakerphone. I was like,
Yeah.
Maggie, you are my GPS.
Yeah.
My family in the glove box, I remember it was like a leather bound looking thing that folded and snapped, and you unsnapped
Yep.
it and opened it, and then the pages opened by that, and it was like every
And-
state,
yeah. Yeah.
and like some things were zoomed in on other states and stuff too. Or yeah, I remember that.
Remember in
Yeah.
eighth
I don't
grade?
have that no more.
Man, those companies are just gone.
Yeah, right,
guys
what do
that
they
did
do?
that, you know?
Hope they diversified.
Yeah, right.
Like,
Remember
we'll be fine. We'll have TomTom now. No more TomTom.
No, Tom.
in 8th grade, we were learning how to read maps. And, like, you know, we had our maps, and they were teaching us. But afterwards, you couldn't leave until you folded the map. And it took me like an hour to fold this map.
Yeah.
I remember you telling the
Robinson?
story.
Was that
Yeah.
Robinson's class?
Uh,
Yep.
This is Robinson.
I had no problem folding the map.
Jesus loves you
No one
more
did.
than you
But me.
will know.
Rick couldn't find where to go. He couldn't close the map. It was his arch nemesis.
Yeah.
thankfully, for all the board games I've played, now I can really fold things.
Get good.
Yeah.
Get good at folding.
So you had a
You
guy.
pay attention to where the creases are.
So Rick, helping to get Jancy's stuff, had a guy who didn't want to talk. Didn't you have a different ordeal though with people delivering Jancy's stuff?
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, her actual stuff came 2 nights ago. Was it 2 nights ago now?
Something like that.
I
Yeah.
think so. But well, yeah. The guy, like, he's supposed to arrive between, like, I don't know, 4 and 7 or something like that, and he was pushing it like to 7. And finally, he's like, you know, he's this Indian guy was the driver. And he's like, I don't want to do, I can't do the accent, but he's just like, you know, I can't turn on the Hadley lane. I can't do it. The truck's too big, you know? And I'm like, you should be able to make the turn. I've seen, you know, I know that trucks aren't supposed to, but you can do it. And he's like, but I won't be able to get out. And I'm like, I was like, no, you can get out. It's actually easier to get out than it is to get in, you know? Because you can
Because down the hill.
because you can go to Glendale. And he's like, no, yo, you show me. I mean, he was nice, but like the way he did it, like he ended up walking from like that church all the way to my house, and then he's like, I don't know if I can get out though, you know. And I was like, you just get in my car and I'll take you. He's like, okay. So I got my car. I showed him, like, you just go here and then you go here, you know, at the interstate. He's like, oh, that does work, you know. So he finally comes down the hill and he pulls up. You know, he can't go in the driveway. It's an 18-wheeler. It's huge, you know.
Yeah.
But he gets there and they start taking the stuff off, and he has another guy. The guy that's not driving, he's just the guy that moves stuff. And he was like I don't know, he's like 6'6". He's a real tall, like you know, he's like a skinny, muscular guy. Like you can tell he's like thinner, but he's like built, you know. He lifts
Wiry.
shit all the time, you know. But yeah, he came up. When the Indian guy came in the house, I'm like, I just need you to put everything in this room. I've moved my collection over here, all against the wall. So you just got to put stuff in here. And when the mover guy came in, he comes in because I have everything on like shelves and stuff. And he comes in and he's like, holy shit. And I'm like, what? And he's like, what is all this? I was like looking at the Star Wars collection. And he was like, oh yeah, I'm a collector. He's like, where'd you get all this stuff? Did you just buy it or something? And I'm like, no, I've been collecting it for my entire life. He's like, oh, okay, Star Wars, not really my thing. Dragon Ball Z, that's my thing.
Oh yeah.
I was like, Dragon Ball Z, and I went over. I'm like, look. He's like, wow, it's Vegeta, man, Super Saiyan, Vegeta. You know?
That's funny.
We like for like the 90 minutes it took him to bring everything in. We just talked about anime, and I'm like, man, I can't have a conversation without anime these days.
Yeah.
But it was really funny because at first I was like, and I wasn't embarrassed or anything, but I was like, some people just don't get that a 30-year-old man's gonna collect Star Wars toys, But that guy, like, he was telling me about anime shit I didn't know. He was really good.
How was he?
He was like, oh man, you're watching the dub. You gotta watch the sub, man. But I mean, he probably was like 35, 6'6" black guy. Like he was super into it.
Yeah,
And I would not have expected it at all.
Yeah.
But we had a good time talking. So.